The Washington Nationals, lots to talk about, of course, with they and the NL East. Barry Syrluga, of course, our main man. Washington Post, he says hello. Barry, thank you. Happy New Year. Great to have you with us here today. Listen, I have no problem with the two additions. I think Bell will be good. Schwarber, of course, playing for his supper. And I think that, he hit 25, 30 home runs. But I'm not too sure in the big picture if that is enough offensively to be a playoff team. Let's get your thoughts on that first. Go ahead.
Well, they really needed some additional lineup support to Juan Soto. He is the guy who's going to make this whole operation work offensively, and they couldn't go into the offseason without adding something. In Josh Bell, they get a switch hitter who provides some pop and is also trying to come off a down 60-game season. And in Kyle Schwarber, as you said, there's no such thing as a bad one-year deal. 1 year, $10 million for a guy who only 2 years ago hit 38 bombs and had like an 871 OPS. So that is some additional support to Soto and Trey Turner, the main cogs of this order. Now, is there room to get more? I'm not sure there is. I'm not sure there is financially, and I'm not sure there is in terms of where they would fit in the lineup. They've got two young guys in Luis Garcia and Carter Kieboom. They would like to have them excel at second and third base. Starlin Castro comes back from an injury. They've got Victor Robles in center, Jan Gomes at catcher. I'm not sure that there is enough room to go get somebody else, another big bat.
You would agree, though, Barry, when you look at that lineup right now, pitching different, but when you look at that lineup right now, that is not a championship offensive team. I think you'd agree with that, correct?
Well, the championship offensive team that they won the 2019 World Series with had Soto and Anthony Rendon. You're not going to find Anthony Rendon on the open market. I would argue, is a top 5 offensive player in baseball. So you're trying to piece it together. And you mentioned, Chris, that you're not talking about the pitching, but this team, if it has championship aspirations, is going to fall back on Max Scherzer, Steven Strasburg, and Patrick Corbin. For them to pursue a championship, those three starting pitchers have to be some version of the best version of themselves. So while you can argue about the lineup and maybe they need more and another impact bat, I would always turn it back to the way they won the World Series was on those starting pitchers, and the way they're going to pursue another postseason appearance is in the same way.
Is Schwarber, who is not exactly a gazelle offensively, where's he going to play? Left, first base? What are they going to do with him as far as, let's say no DH? Where are they going to put Schwarber there defensively? Let me hear.
You put him in left, and I think you move Juan Soto over to right. Soto played right field at the end of last year. They had designs on trying to figure out whether he could do it. He's done it in the minor leagues. They have confidence in him doing it in right. Now, the problem becomes defensively. You add Josh Bell, who's a subpar defensive first baseman. Schwarber, who people who have watched him for years think he's not as bad as his rep, but he's not a Gold Glove left fielder. You put Soto in right, you probably downgrade yourself there. Where are you defensively for a team that, as I said before, is built on pitching? That'll be an interesting thing. If they start being leaky defensively and their starting pitching is giving up more runs because of it, that's a potential problem.
Yeah, it sure is. Now, the division. Listen, forget the Phillies for the moment. Yeah, Marlins, let's assume that, the Nats are better than they. But the Mets and, of course, the Braves. Braves are very good. We all know they've added some people. Morton's going to really help their pitching staff. Soroka will be back. They came within an eyelash. And maybe they were the second-best team in baseball last year. And, of course, the Mets now with Lindor. They are a very dangerous team. He's a big addition. You can make an argument going into the 2021 season, despite their pedigree, the Nats are only the third best team. What's your take on that?
I think you can make that argument. And I think the thing to think about for the Nationals going forward is not just 2021, where it's clear that the Braves have their good young core and the Mets are making noise, but how are those two franchises, not to mention the Phillies, going to be players in the market going forward? It's clear that Steve Cohen with the Mets is not afraid to make noise, is going to spend, might be an outlier among MLB owners now who doesn't care about the limitations of revenue from the past season and maybe even going into this season. That's a problem for the landscape of the NL East if you are not in Queens right now, is the potential spending power of the New York Mets.
Well, he didn't lose any money last year. That's the thing. You know, he didn't own a team, so he doesn't have all those losses from a year ago. So we keep an eye on that. Listen, Scherzer, do you feel Strasburg and Scherzer? You're right. They're the key to the whole team. Scherzer's older. Strasburg coming off surgery. You feel confident that both could make, 55 starts, 50 to 55 starts next year and win a combined 36 games? Because that's what they're going to have to do to be right there in the division. What's your take on that?
That's exactly what they have to do, Chris. And if they play 162 games and those guys make 60 starts, which is a lot of full complement, then they're doing something right. They're out there taking the ball every fifth day. That gives this team the best chance to win. Scherzer, I am long since past trying to say, oh, he can't do this. He's getting older. There's too much tread on the tires. I trust him. He knows his body extremely well. He is perhaps the best free agent signing in the history of the sport. That's a great debate sometime. And Steven Strasburg, he made, I think, only one appearance last year, had the issue that that closed down his 60-game season. There are people that believe that was an okay thing for him. He was coming off the 2019 season in which he was the World Series MVP. He did everything they could have asked in winning a title. And maybe kind of a down year to rebuild and restore won't be bad for him going into 2021.
100%. I can buy that. Pitching, and more pitching. Well done, Barry. Stay healthy and safe. Happy New Year. Thanks for a couple minutes today. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it.